Ankalaev, he promised coming into this fight he wouldn't shoot a single takedown. He didn't do it. Is this enough to get Alex Pereira his title fight? It's the second longest unbeaten streak in the history of this division behind John Jones.
I would have to say yes.
He's supposed to be fighting Ankalaev. Ankalaev is very dangerous, and I think he's the #1 contender, and he's been on a winning streak for a long ass time. He's only got one draw, and that was to Jan Blachowicz, who was the former champion. So he's like at the top of the heap, and he's been waiting for a title shot for a long time, but he's been talking a lot of shit.
Alex, stop running away from me.
Alex Pereira, he's got his next fight. Bro, he's finally fighting Magomed Ankalaev. Finally, right? Like, Ankalaev has got to be breathing a sigh of relief. Like, thank God I'm finally getting this title fight. Alex was like, it's still not going to be Ankalaev. He was just kind of messing. Ankalaev said yesterday, he's not wasting any time letting anyone know that he means business. He went to X and he said, you just signed your death certificate. I'm going to punish you for ducking me, and I'm going to make you look like a guy who works in a tire shop, not a professional fighter.
The wrestling, and that is like one of the things that drains people, you know. Izzy in the Pereira fight, putting those takedowns up there, it takes a lot of gas. If you haven't been doing that for a lifetime, wrestling is one of the most draining things for the energy tank.
Without a doubt.
Alex is so fun. It's so funny to me because on the one hand, I'm like, he should be in GOAT conversation, right? Like as
the double GOAT.
No, as on one hand, but then on the other hand, I'm like, I kind of think his wrestling still sucks, and if he fights someone who's a good wrestler, he's going to get torched. If he gets torched by Ankalaev, do we say it was really a mirage the whole time? I mean, obviously his stand-up is about as good as it gets, and he hits about as hard as you can hit.
Ankalaev said he's not wrestling him.
If he does that, he's a moron.
Why would you stand with him?
I have no idea. I don't know. He's just bullshitting. There's no way he's not.
He's going to just take him down? Would that be crazy if he just keeps shooting on him?
Why
He didn't take the last guy he fought. I swear to God, if I was fighting Alex Pereira, I would shoot on him from the moment the fight started.
Yeah, for real. Why not?
I would go forward, press, throw like a left hand or an overhand right, and just dive in on his legs as much as I could, just to try to see how his takedown defense would hold up.
And
here's my thought, though. He's got to have gotten better, right? He's been training with Glover all these years in the wrestling.
Yeah, but the only instances of wrestling we've seen in his UFC career has been not all that great. He got taken out and held down by Adesanya, who no one thinks has good wrestling, and he got taken down by Blachowicz and was down a whole round.
I think Ankalaev is going to have to try to wrestle him. I think that's kind of the thought that he's posturing, saying he's going to stand with him, trade with him.
Ankalaev, boy, my partners DraftKings have him listed over Pereira himself because he's a Dagestani wrestler, and that Dagestani wrestling is the hardest thing for a kickboxer like Pereira to deal with.
How crazy has it been watching all these dudes from Dagestan invade and dominate? It's a very good base. If you want to build a strong foundation, even just as a human being, wrestling is where you figure out how tough you are.
If Pereira was to stay at 205 pounds and not face Ankalaev, I'm telling you right now, the guy that's going to have the biggest problem with that is going to be Pereira. Pereira's not going to let it happen.
Just some dudes just have some extra power. Like literally everybody he's connecting on is going night-night. And he does it in 2 different weight classes simultaneously.
You're the underdog going into this fight. Does this bother you? Does this surprise you?
No.
I thought it was funny when he tweeted something to the effect of, oh, you're going to do whatever the company tells you to do. You know, you work for them and they want me to fight you. When in reality, I feel like the company has tried to do everything but give him a title shot because he's not very popular.
Company tells him what to do, but I'm the one that asked for the fight. I said I want to fight in March, May, June. But I'm the one that came there and said I want to fight Ankalaev now. And he found out only because I asked to fight him.
Magomed Ankalaev, I do believe, provides the toughest test of his light heavyweight run. Magomed Ankalaev, this guy is an absolute gigantic light heavyweight. He stands at 6'3" tall, okay? So he's only 1 inch shorter than Ankalaev. And of course, when it comes to wrestling and stuff, yeah, he can do that. He comes from Dagestan. He's got all of those accolades, but that's not what he does. He likes to knock people out. The man has got insane power. He's big, he's strong, he's angry. He feels that he's been overlooked in this division, and that's going to make him extremely dangerous, okay? And when it comes to knockout power, Alex Pereira just seems to have the touch of death, okay? It's not a coincidence that he took over the sport. The man's just that good. His striking is phenomenal, and he is evolving all the time. Now, Magomed Ankalaev said all along, he's not going to wrestle him, and he's not an Islam. He's not a Habib. but he does come from Dagestan, and we have seen him wrestle before. And if it comes down to it, he probably will use it again. It's fight or flight, and if a double leg takedown is there, it is personal between the two of them. I mean, if you ask Alex Pereira, he's just another guy. That is the fight that if there is any doubters out there, because there is people that say that he gets tailor-made matchups, that he's only fighting striker after striker. To be fair, that's just the state of the light heavyweight division right now. It is full of a lot of strikers, and Magomed Ankalaev is once again a striker. He's got to be careful with Magomed Ankalaev. He can't just expect to steamroll him and go through him, and I know Pereira trains hard. There's a reason why the man's successful in the first place, but he's got to be careful.
I'm going to go with Alex because I don't think Ankalaev has to stand up. Now, he does have the wrestling advantage, but it's going to be very hard for him. He has to go across the void to get to Alex. And when he goes across that void, he's going to have to deal with the calf kick, Alex's hands, left hook, and a jab, and uppercut. So it's going to be a very, very tough fight.
So Magomed Ankalaev, Alex Pereira, finally going down. UFC 313, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. And apparently, Alex Pereira just signed his death warrant.
Everybody's like, well, he hasn't fought Ankalaev. That's why he's scared of Ankalaev. Dude is not afraid of anybody. He'll fight anyone. But I think that he needs to go out there and beat this guy. Then if he does that, everybody will have nothing to say about Alex Pereira or his title reign.
Alex Pierce of goddamn Macho, he'll look at Ankalaev and say, that's probably a squash match. It certainly is historically. That is my hardest challenge. Make sure I have that guy next. That's how he works.
I don't think there's anyone out there right now with the finishing ability of Alex Pereira. It is frightening what he can do. And the only discussion, the only question around Alex Pereira right now is, can he beat somebody like Magomed Ankalaev? Because that's the only style we haven't really seen. Can he stop a wrestler? That's been the whole knock on Alex Pereira. Oh, UFC are giving him fan-friendly matchups. They're giving him styles that favor him. He's a glory kickboxer. Of course he's going to beat Yuri Prohaska and Jamal Hill and all these others. These are all tremendous fighters. Israel Adesanya, so on and so forth. These are legendary, tremendous fighters, okay? But I guess stylistically, it is favorable to his style, okay? But Magomed Ankalaev is the last question. Right now, light heavyweight is full of killers, and Alex Pereira is taking them all out.
Alex Pereira is the scariest and most entertaining fighter alive right now. Fighting Magomed Ankalaev is likely his toughest test to date. While Magomed is primarily a striker, he possesses exceptional Dagestani wrestling, which many fight fans believe will be a significant challenge for Alex to overcome. Do you think Alex Pereira can shock the world again and defend his belt for the 5th time? A victory would silence many wrestling fans and add another great win to his UFC legacy. Hit like on the video if you're rooting for Poatan, Chama,